Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, Rustoria base Invaders. We do apologize for the delay. We did have some technical issues, but today, without further ado, we have three mans. A lot of teams here vying for that $100 prize pool. Today, in the caster booth, I am joined by the one and only Ian. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello, Llama. You can't get rid of me today. Kaylee and I pulled in a shift on EU, and I am back once again. But I am looking forward to it. Excited to get started now that we're fully underway. EU is a lot of fun, and I'm expecting pretty much the same from NA.
Yeah, we can't get rid of you. Like you're like a boomerang.
I literally won't leave. I refused. Yep.
You're coming
Just
back,
sat
but
in the caster booth until they relented.
that's good. But yeah, it's exactly like I said. We're gonna have some exciting action today. We already had EU already finished, but three man, so a little bit different, a little bit smaller team size. Definitely gonna be more heavily action focused, and a lot of these three man teams. I mean, you got to really send your resources all in one place, and then we definitely saw that in EU too.
For sure. I think one of the things that we saw the most was that the raiding got a lot slower when you've only got threes, because there's far less people to be able to delegate responsibility to.
Yeah,
Who have we got here on the crate? Is this RNC? It's RNC and Bob.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah, some familiar team names obviously coming into the three mans, and it's definitely like you said, you have less people to kind of delegate your resources to, and it's very dangerous. It's more of a dangerous scenario because only having those three people, you really do have to send them all out because you can't really raid with one or two people. It's really not just going to be a successful raid, but it's really risky to go raid, but we'll have points where it definitely will slow down. But I do like the fact that we have so many teams, and we'll definitely get some more action.
Looks like RNC are going to be picking these crates up here. Wyvern's just touching them now, which means they should be getting those points shortly. Has been going pretty well for Bob up until this point, by the looks of it, in terms of PvP. They're currently hitting 12 at the top. RNC aren't far behind them. It looks like somebody else might have been involved in this fight before we got here. RNC firmly in control of it now, though.
RNC kind of holding it down right now, but like you're saying, these crates from this attack helicopter are very important. They give you some of those early points, give you that early lead, and RNC will be grabbing a couple of those crates to kind of skyrocket themselves up into that first place position. But it's exactly like you're saying. Right now, you can't really raid others, can't really take their TCs down. So right now, you're focusing on PvP, getting looted up, getting your base finished, and like you're saying, Bob is doing a pretty good job. 12 kills so far for them.
RNC, just as we were talking about it, have now jumped up above them here at 16, so I think they have won the majority of these engagements that they have entered into with Bob around here. I see a base in the background as well, and I suspect that that probably belongs to one of these two. Probably Bob, given the direction that they seem to be entering this fight. All the crates are gone now, so that's probably responsible for some of the jump in RNC's points.
Those crates are giving off obviously some points, giving off some loot to RNC, and I mean it was hotly contested. I mean you don't really want to give up any space to your opponents or give them any really free loot, but we'll be changing over to some other bases, see how they're looking. Obviously, some neighbors maybe not so friendly next to each other, and we'll see how eventually this fight does play out. But some nice bases already. We see that kind of tortilla chip roof, give them some of those nice head peaks.
Yeah, this is free TC. This is our EU 3v3 winners, and it looks like they have built the same base design that they did earlier. I love this route. It is, I don't know, in terms of its effectiveness, it does seem to have quite a lot of peaks considering that there's not that many gaps, but it's just really pretty. Need to upgrade that twig though, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
This, roof battling with R-word over here. Yep. Yeah. Is this mostly stone in this base? That's not encouraging. It's either that or they've been interrupted in the mid-build here. This is going to be a hotly contested area. I think there's a lot of going on around here.
Yeah, it'll probably be a neighborhood of death. A lot of teams will probably. It's going to be action-packed, and we've seen it before that when you're around so many people, one person really becomes the target first, and slowly but surely all of them eventually usually die off, and usually one or two survive. But it's like you're saying, those weaker bases, those stone bases, will be the target first because these teams want some of those easy points, want those 20 free TC points. But talking about easy points, we might have another easy-looking base right here.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to say the name of the owner of this base, but none of them appear to be in it. which is not a good sign for them, and that's a member of Bob, who definitely does not own the space and sitting on top there. See, Dipsy and this is GN that we've got here. I don't see any members of them, which is not good for them. So I feel like if they haven't already disconnected and that maybe gets removed, then this is probably going to be an easy TC for someone. I would imagine if they've already started the fight, it left for people to battle over rather than. Oh no.
Yeah, so some bodies and stuff. It looks like it's probably they're just offline. May have already disconnected. So might just be a trash page for
Yeah.
for some people to walk around and view as a historical monument.
Well, if it doesn't get deleted, it's not going to be there for very long, I don't think. This is all an outsiders that we've got. They're making a play on one side of this base, whereas Bob and Messi, I think, on the other. Here's Messi here, outside the mining outpost. They've got a good spot of cover, but Bob have got the angle and the height on them. And I think they're pinning them down there pretty effectively.
Yeah, Bob's doing a good job, but I would also like, I mean, Outsiders are doing a really nice job of getting these walls up because there's so much open space between them and these other bases. Really, putting some space down, putting these walls down, giving themselves some protection and some really nice peaks for them to, try and expand further, trying to get some push. And we talked about just being a nuisance to somebody else can slow down their build and can ultimately give you an advantage into that raiding phase.
That was a nice shot from that all player who seems to be using a semi-auto. Don't know why they have a SAR. I mean, it did get a pretty tremendous buff, but wouldn't be my choice of weapon for this situation. Still making it work, though. And wow. That is some distance away to spotlight Bardo from if that was Dipsy.
Yeah, that was a long shot. That was a really good hit. It might have been one of the players of Messi, but like
Yeah,
definitely some aggression.
Nobody's really making an opportunity to get any close to any of the bases, though. The only thing I think anyone is doing is playing for position on this easy pickings in the middle. Because obviously we're still into the attack phase here. For those of you who are new to watching Base Invaders, at this point during the event, enemies, or rather the players, cannot attack their enemies' bases. They cannot do any damage to them. That will not happen until the raid phase kicks in at the end of this phase in 15 minutes or so, 16 minutes or so. Whoever's at the top of this phase will receive additional points to their score going into the raid phase.
Yeah, they'll get some of those extra points, and obviously, like, those attack helicopters do help you to get some of those points. But really, you can't raid, so it's all pretty much just preparation, trying to gain ground. And that's really what we're seeing from all these teams is just trench warfare, trying to put down these walls, trying to get as much space as possible so that when it comes to the raiding phase, they can get easy access to all these bases. And, I mean, good to point out, RNC, a team that we have consistently had show up in these tournaments, is holding this lead right now. Again, the points in this don't matter as much because those TCs are worth 40 points each, but RNC has a pretty healthy lead right now at 27. And just showing right now, some fires on their roof. May have been an attack helicopter that landed literally right there with them.
Okay, so Llama, you've done a lot of Base Invaders, and I've done a lot of Base Invaders, right? And I have literally never seen, until today, any of the crates landing on someone's roof. People have been getting really good at getting this to land outside their compound. As you can see, half of this is outside, right? But that's the second time, because this happened in EU on the first copter as well. They got all of it on the roof, and this is at least 2 of the crates up there. Another 2 of them are down in their courtyard, so I don't see anyone getting them from Santa.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like they're just like strategically, like you said before, we've done a lot of these, and I have never seen someone land it like this. Like I've seen them land it in their compound and maybe land it near them, but never directly on their roof with direct access to the crates. That's huge. I mean,
Yeah. Milk looks particularly pleased with himself. He's having a little celebratory boogie on the roof while his teammates farm the crates for the points. I think that's the flames out for most of it, so they should be able to claim them now. I mean, he's standing on top of the helicopter, and he isn't on fire, so one can assume.
Get some of those points. Obviously, we talked about how those crates are really good in Santa. I mean, it's going to be great. They're going to get some points, get that loot, and I mean, it's free. They landed it perfectly inside their base, and no one will be able to contest it at all. though. I mean, they are next to one other team. Seems like it's kind of a little bit more scarce with bases up here. Couple, but not too many, so not too much of a danger. Just a couple, 3 or 4 maybe bases around this big POI.
I'm a little concerned about the long-lasting nature of that one from Big Johnner that we were just looking at. A lot of frames on the outside and a lot of stone that needs to be metal.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to upgrade your base and get it all set up. And you talked about it earlier that those stone bases, as soon as one of those teams that has played in one of these more than once sees one of those stone bases, they instantly go for it when that attacking phase expires.
Now, this is encouraging to see though, because Baranina were also in EU, and
Okay.
they really did not have a good time limit. They didn't get their outer shell of their base was twig. That
Oh,
never got past being twig. They were positioned in a very busy area of the map, quite like a lot like they are now.
right.
But they didn't even get a chance. Poor folks. So it's nice to
Yeah.
see that they have already done better than last time because that looks pretty much finished. It
Yeah.
did look like it was going to be a good base, so it's nice to see.
That's great to see, just improvement from these teams. Obviously, like we've had the teams that perform consistently, and obviously, like they have a special builder that brings a project every single time, and they have each player that knows their roles. And there's some players just coming into having fun, and it's really nice to see that improvement from them. Building up their base, not having a twig base and having actually a chance here to compete in this tournament.
Turns off for a Sunday drive. Must have run out of gas.
Yeah, that's what it
Heading into
is.
Oxums.
I don't know, gas expensive right now. I don't know if he wants to get it.
Yeah. Well, doesn't have a choice. Not gonna get that loot home again. Speaking of loot, the loot table on this event is custom, so anything that anyone finds looting in any area is going to be suitable for PvP. There's no standard items in there and no standard loot tables. Now we're back over to GN, who we did come and visit earlier, and this is not. Oh, so this is a different GN just to make it even more confusing.
Right, of course.
This is Ha. Someone's
Ah,
just got GN tagged in their name. And I don't have a lot of confidence for this either. It's quite small. I mean, it is threes, so prioritizing a smaller base is fine if you can get it finished. But this is still
yeah.
mostly stone. It's not going to stand up for very long.
Yeah. They got 10, 11 minutes to kind of finish that up. I don't know how strong it's actually going to be unless they can finalize it like you were saying. And those stone bases again. I mean, it's rough to really play with one playing have that defense, but I mean, they really gotta. Maybe there's we talked about some people are more interior decorators. They're just playing for the aesthetics. Like more stone. The HOA required them to use stone instead of metal.
Those damn little associations, they're always the worst. Gobas here are on top of someone else's base. That was the one that we were
Oh,
just looking at who were the neighbors to our stone friends. That's this team right here. We're
gotcha.
on top of BM space.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, a really nice base, but they have some uninvited guests that are
Yeah.
just trying to look to stall their building. And I mean, they have their base is pretty open here at the top, so they have some
Yeah.
nice angles. They can really just take out any of these players. And again, it is all about stalling your enablers. If you can get any players over to take some of their players out to stall their building, and especially this base, you can see all into it. So this team is really in a great spot for when this raiding phase does start.
Yeah, it was. Looks like it was going to be a good base, but it is unfortunately missing the top third, which is going to make the next part a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Jamesy is sneaking about here, waiting to see if he can make a play. It did not, unfortunately, go very well for the boat in EU. If you ask me, I feel like they didn't even build a boat, but that's the whole thing. So it does seem. I noticed. I think they might have actually been down a player for the whole of it. So I think they actually have
Ah,
their whole team. Maybe
nice.
get a little better
Yeah.
improvement on NA here. This is Brill Shaza on. They just assassinated the James's teammate, just as I said that. Caster's Curse.
Yep. Cursed them up, but I mean, this team's still holding down this base. It's really good. It's like you said that it's missing the top portion. They're just camping these kills, camping this loot, and I mean, if they can hold it for 9 more minutes, they might have probably the first TC of the match.
I suspect as well that they have a fairly good idea of where the TC is. The advent calendar around the
Mhm.
outside looks like it's completed. I see all these are all filled in. They all look locked as well,
Mhm.
which is a good start. So they might still have some time here. They are acting an awful lot like they're controlling this core pretty hard, which obviously partly is for cover, but I wonder if they think that maybe it's in there. I think that's unlikely. It's probably more likely to be on one of the edges on the outside. Whichever one doesn't face a base, probably.
Yeah, most likely. I think there was also some twigs still on the outside, so although they do have all these doors and stuff locked, if they did kind of push from that outside, they might have, like on that one side, it might be a little bit weaker, so we'll have to see, but they do have some of those doors locked. It might be a little bit longer of the push, and I really haven't seen any of this other team come back at all. I don't know if they're,
I
what
don't
they're
know what's
doing.
happened to them. Well,
This team is
Shazza
just,
decided they're going to turn up, though.
yeah, falling down the height.
They do
Is
seem
the
to be
high
stuck
ground.
up this bit. They've been here for a while. Yeah, they've got the high ground to the most part, but I think they're mostly even with the roof. Patrol
Hmm.
Heli's making its second move in now as well.
Yep. Be good. Some points. See if anybody can land it on their roof. Oh, Santa. Beds
Axer
been
and
put down.
Kempi, they've been pinned down here for ages now. I don't think they can get
Yeah.
out of this spot. It's really not great. Jamesy is still grabbing around the back of that base. Who is
Yep.
this?
Just hiding, chilling. Some shots will be taken towards this attack helicopter, and it's going to take some damage. Losing some of its parts and flying over. It doesn't look like it's super close to landing on anybody's base, but this one team might get lucky, and it might land close to them. Still has a decent bit of health, though, so we'll see.
It looks like we've got Daxout and Numere competing over this, neither of
Mhm.
which are doing it from their base. They're just hiding it from launch site, which is pretty impressive. They don't seem to have lost anyone yet either. Straussy got out of
Mhm.
the way of that strafe run pretty quickly there. It's gonna come down any second now, though, it looks like. Is that gonna land on the top of launch? Oh my god! Wow! Okay. Oh, we're just doing
Uh,
firsts all day today.
That's crazy.
Next time we're like, land it on your base. We'll do you one better, mate. Land it on top of launch.
On top of lunch, why not? One up each other. Just keep on going. Oh,
Nicely
yeah,
done.
a lot of crates, a lot of points. I mean, it's gonna be contested on the top of that launch, though. You do have a lot of high ground to kind of protect it if anybody does try and run up on it. But we'll see who does try to go for it. Looks like those two teams you were mentioning are kind of running up and over to see if they can maybe grab those crates on fire.
Yeah, our 4x3 hero 800 by 600 on Team Numere. Somewhere inside of the building from what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, he's under the helipad. Oh, this could be a beautiful grub about to occur here. Straussy has no idea.
Yeah,
Waiting
he's
his
just camping
moment.
them.
Yeah, well, he knows that there's at least 3 of them up here, I think, so he
Oh wow,
needs to
yep,
pick his moment, and he has. That's nice.
very well
Doesn't
done.
seem aware then of the second player, because I don't think he would have opened himself up to that. Is it just Mango that's here? Is no one else on roof?
I think so. He might have gotten
Oh,
lucky and one coming up. It looks like got to be careful. I mean, that prowl was really good. I mean, like you were saying, that you have to be careful, and like the other player didn't know at all, so he
that was
just gets
great.
that free kill and he's trying to grab those crates, seeing what they can do, and he's got to be careful though. He's got to know that reinforcements are coming.
Well, the timer might be in his favor because Mango is taking his time coming up those stairs. He has no idea how many members of Numa are up there. He just knows that their one
Mm.
teammate has died. So if he continues crawling like this, then 800 might get these crates before Mango even peeks him.
That'd be good. Yeah, I mean, Manga's taking his time. He wants to maybe hold these peaks because, like you were saying, he doesn't know how many people are up here. Even though it is one, that one, I mean, he showed a lot of presence, and you don't know how many were there because you died. So the crates are very close to being available to grab, and it might be in their favor here for 800. Mango's close, but it's going to be really close again if he can grab these crates or not.
The longer he takes, though, the worse this gets. He doesn't want to. He can't see. He almost has an angle, but he cannot see him. I don't think from there. There's just too much in the way, and he's reluctant to peek out from his position, understandably, because I don't think he has an idea of this Numair player's position yet. I think they're going to get this. I really do. Doesn't seem like Mango's going to push in time, and Mango is the only one upstairs.
It's a 1v1 right now, and he's going for these crates, and Mango's gonna try and maybe play the same angle that he did and play under, but looks like that player from Numir is gonna be there to grab him. They're almost about to expire, so he will be there. He's gonna take some shots though, but another player came up. Wow, reinforcements are here. Even though 800 defended for so long, he will not be the one to get the crates.
He might have got one of those, because as Kaylee always likes to point out, you don't need to loot the crate in order to get the points. You just need to touch it the first time. So a couple of those crates were out. That looks like that's literally just happened. So he might have gotten one of them. I don't see any increase in Numair's points that would suggest that, though. So it looks like that was a successful defense. They cut that so fine, though. That was, yeah, sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta touch him. So maybe he did grab a couple of those, but we'll see. The fires are starting to expire. But talking about fire, I mean, RNC, they are on fire right now at the top of the leaderboard, 47 points. I mean, there's some other teams up above 40. A couple of those other teams that did grab those crate. Daxo is one of those teams, and I mean, we're almost into our raiding phase here. So in 2 minutes, it will be available for people to start raiding some TCs and getting themselves those big points.
How many TCs do we think we're going to lose simultaneously at the start of the raid phase here, Llama? It's threes. There's always people who can't get their bases built in time because it is stressful. It's so stressful.
I think three. I think we lose 3 at the beginning.
Well, I'm going to go higher and lower. I'm going to go for 2.
Ooh, okay.
And they still haven't got all these crates yet. I'm surprised that the difference in the flame, the fire timer.
Right. Yeah, it's going for a while. Someone put some gasoline or some extra twigs on that fire. But it'll finally go out. This crates will be touched. It looks like Daxo actually going to take the lead for now. We'll see, like you mentioned, you get some extra points for holding down the leader at the beginning or the end of that attack phase, rather. And we'll see if they can. I mean, they're holding it down by about 6 points right now. They had a decent bit of PvP points along with getting all those helicopters. So, a minute left for them, and they might grab some extra points here.
Well, it looks like a significant amount of Daxo's points are going to be from those heli crates. Costco, on the other hand, at Pusher, I believe Costco were playing as Pivo in EU. I think that's the same team. Pusher hit a 15 kill streak during that event we were watching there over the other side of the map. So maybe we need to keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on a lot of teams, and the teams that may have had a lesser performance in the past couple weeks trying to come back and have a good one this week. RNC kind of been not the best performances. I mean, they've been doing okay, but like haven't had any like wins or any great like top 2s, top 3s recently. So we'll see if they can come out. I mean, they're at a decent lead right now, not a lead, but in that top 5 right now. And we'll see if they can hold it. We know how good their rating can be, but just a couple of times in the past, they've got caught up on bases and just slowed down.
Yeah, they haven't. I couldn't see. I'm a terrible statistician, so I couldn't tell you the last time that they actually won. They still have been making their way up towards like the top ends of the tables, regardless of when they actually finish. And they do tend to make it to the end as well. Now we just got the start of the raid phase here.
Oh.
I think I don't know about you, Llama, but I don't be able to see. I think we've lost our video feed on our end here, so we'll wait for that to come back.
Yeah, but I mean, with raid phase starting, we're gonna have a lot of action. We talk about it. It's 3-mans. There's a lot of teams, a lot of points available for these teams to grab, and almost everyone is still in it. We talked about how these TCs are worth 40 points each. So any team that really gets themselves a TC can jump themselves up into contention instantly. And with a couple of those bases being a little bit like we said, stone, maybe a little bit more easier to raid. Maybe people already prepping to raid them. he can really make a difference really early on.
For sure. So it looks like we had 2 TCs taken direct to the raid phaser. 4. I should have gone higher. Unfortunately, we still don't have a video feed, so I'm not going to be able to give you a live play-by-play on it.
Mhm. Yeah, but higher. I didn't really expect it. I mean, obviously it is 3, so a lot of like the teams, like you were saying, may not have gotten
Yeah,
their base fully up and going. And I mean, it, it's tough, you know,
there'll be a few
just
teams
coming
that
in.
get
It's
to.
hard maybe if you're one of those newer teams trying to set up. And like we said, Big Genre is the first to go out. They had one of those smaller bases that they could not get finished. Some of those other teams, it looks like Ha, I believe, sorry, BM, will be going out, and some of their teams at the bottom of the leaderboard. And RNC and Santa will now be holding down that first and second spot respectively.
We've got a big fight happening here. I have managed to get onto our secondary video feed. Thank you, Kaz. Washed are making a play onto OTF here. But it's not going that well for Yogi because ImSolow are roof camping the shit out of them. I can also see, I'm actually not 100% on whose base that is there that they are pushing towards because I can see both Meow and OTF in there. So I think that's actually Meow's base.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and defend here, but the roof campers, it's rough. It's rough to deal with, but it is part of the game that, you know, it's a good defense strategy. Everyone hates it when you get shot by it, but everyone loves it when you're the person on top of the roof.
Yep. And once again, we hate to say it, but that's what happens with threes. There's so many bases that you're unlikely to be able to get a spot where you don't have at least a couple of neighbors. And this is real close. A bunch of these people's base bubbles
Whoa.
probably overlap. Meow are just out. Where was that TC? Oh,
Ah,
so
they got it quick.
yeah, that was incredibly fast. Cat got that with the rocket to the TC there, which is good for them because there are a lot of teams outside.
Yeah, just coming from above, you know, taking that roof, you know, effort. And we talked about how like any team that gets a TC can immediately jump themselves up into the top 5. And OTF noticing that this team, I mean, they were right there and they take it. And Ox is also eliminated by Outsiders. We saw Outsiders early on with that dead base around them, kind of pushing in the water, trying to get those extra points. And all of a sudden now Outsiders is now holding down that third place position with 68. So a lot of these teams really working and focusing on getting these easy TCs, getting their neighbors out of the way first so they can, you know, maybe travel further distances and take other people out.
Lot Marvin, who were doing really well in EU. I believe they got taken out by who were third place. They were performing pretty well up to that, and it looks like they have decided that they want this base. I have not seen the opponents here to see who it is that they are. It looks like it's Ooga Booga. And Big Papi T is making their way through this pretty quick.
Yeah, they're making 3 players work like 6, it feels like, and the Rockets just coming through and blowing up everything. But it is again one of the, kind of those advent calendars. Our word is eliminated here by Free TC. And you talked a little bit about Free TC and how well they did in EU, and it seems like they're doing it again.
That did seem a bit like a foregone conclusion there. We called that before it occurred, right at the start of the attack phase, I think. So it was only a matter of time before that went down.
And I mean,
KFX is also popping off here. 10 kills in the middle of this.
that's a big kill streak. Yeah, I mean, but 7 TCs already gone in these first 5 minutes. Like, that's pretty crazy. I mean, it's expected, but it's still pretty crazy that these teams are really playing to their strengths.
Absolutely. I'm counting seven teams that are gone. So I think we might have had someone retire as well. Now, oh, here we are. Struggling to find where this raid is actually occurring inside here, but we've found them.
Yep, they're putting some C4, some boom down, you know, trying to get on through. Some of those players just trying to defend as best they can. Some rockets will go down. door blown open, you know, just trying to make your way through with those 3 players. Like you said, it is a little bit slower to raid them, and with some of those bigger bases that have that advent calendar type dealer, no deal is the $1 million behind door number 1 or door number 27 million. You don't know. It can take a while with people.
Yeah, it's going to take even longer as well because I think there's a little bit of miscommunication because we saw that garage door getting C4'd there, and when we passed through it, there was already a member of that site on the other side rocket launcher in the other doors, so it wasn't really necessary. But they have met up now so that they can concentrate their fire. I think we're going to have to move ahead because we got stuck inside that base there and we can't. It's very hard for us to exit out without showing a TC.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
So it looks like Ooga Booga is going to have that successful defense, and very well done. They might not be as strong as a base, but they get it done. They get that defense. They'll get some points. But OTF, they took one of the early bases, but maybe not paying attention to their own, and Washed will go in and yoink their base from them.
Well, now I do know that Washed were about when OTF went into that into Meow's base there, so this is obviously a little neighborhood vendetta that we've got. This is a strange shaped base from IainSolow there, but I think we're going to move on to another section. We'll probably get back to see that later.
I believe Santa's raiding here. Raiden, it looks like maybe it looks like an easier base, but it's kind of interesting. I haven't really seen this that much. It's kind of like separated into like 5 different tiers. I kind of like it, but also I think it might be easy to raid.
Yeah. So it looks like we're about to see it, to be honest with you, Llama, because I think this might have already been exposed. And just to make this a little bit more confusing for the viewers, by the way, because I got to learn this at EU, this team here called ImSolo,
Yeah.
who have just eliminated Sophistic and have Santa in their names, that's not Santa. It's just some people with their names.
I mean, honestly, when you have those bigger teams, like you're prepared to go into those 7-8 mans and have those huge, massive teams. But also, I mean, when you get down to the 3 mans, like you can't have everybody on the same team, so you kind of have to split your resources around. But I mean, really good from Solo to get that TC. I mean, the base is an interesting concept, I'd say, but maybe could be refined a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much saving that. You're kind, but I don't think there's a reason that a lot of these bases end up looking very similar because the meta is effective and it works. That's why everyone's base has got advent calendar in it. That's why you see a lot of very similar shapes between them. Sometimes people go outside, break the mold and they build something that works. Santa's boat for some reason works. Don't ask me why, but it really confuses people. But that one it's too small. And like you said, they exposed the TC earlier on, so it wasn't hard for them to get to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a meta of bases, and it's like you're saying, we have those kind of, you have the circular inside the core, and then you have the advent calendar outside. I really do like Santa's boat base design, even though it is small. They kind of have, if anyone gets inside, they can kind of see all inside. And take them out, but it also means that all the enemy can see all inside, even though there is all of those doors. It is a little bit easier to find that TC, but I do also like people experimenting, even though that TC was revealed earlier. I think that five prong may not be the best idea, but I like that experiment.
Unless the experiment has concluded and we know that it doesn't work. Steak just laid everyone out there. That was wild. Didn't even blink.
The Betalagi team here is looking to kill these beds, and delete those respawn points.
I think these are Bedelagi's beds.
Oh.
But I might be mistaken. Just judging by the way that Steak is hanging around here. Who have we got this? No, this is Gobbus Phobus. So Bedelagi are just taking this over for the fun of it. It is a good position for them to be in. They can keep those walls and they've boomed out the beds as well.
Yeah, that's really good, and it's really good to take out another team that's raiding because you honestly want it's good when another team is raiding to kind of expose more walls, expose more places the TC could be. But I mean, with this stone base, you definitely want to be raiding it yourself because you know it's going to go down quick.
And there is a mini en route. That is going
Oh,
really fast. Holy shit.
oh,
Baronina onto the roof, and I've immediately lost one player. Reply back there. They got the trade at least, but that didn't go as well as you would hope.
yeah.
Kaylee made a very good point with regards to roof raiding on this, and she's not a fan. And this is exactly why. Because if you go in on your roof raid and you die, you have no route back in like you do if you're going through the wall from the outside on the ground. So
Yeah.
they've lost that teammate. He's not getting back up there. They don't have another mini. So that's, yeah, I can see exactly what she means.
Yeah, it's rough. You only have one way in, you have no way out, and you have no way to add that continued pressure. Where if you have those beds, if you have extra loot, you can send more people in, and it's tough once you and once you use that helicopter. If you're so far away, it's gonna be a trek to get back there. And if one of your players does happen to get inside, you lose a couple. You know, it's just gonna be a weaker and weaker push as time goes on.
Tell you what though, these inner defensive peaks that they've got are really good. It is a shame
Mm.
that they are currently being used by the people raiding their base, but
Yeah.
it's nice, good view, got excellent roof coverage. Certainly letting them get their trades, but unfortunately they've let Baidalagi into the one opposite them, and they don't seem like they're particularly good neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh my
Betaluggy not
god,
the greatest
you not see
neighbors,
him?
and they are they're inside, but going to shot and RNC. We talked about them. They are going to strike again, strike swiftly, holding down that first place position by 50 points now, getting themselves the TC up to 130. Wow.
And have they already moved on? Oh no, this was Nunair here. Right. I saw the members of the boat underneath, but they obviously were attempting to contest and were unsuccessful. Can still get some PvP points out of RNC though if they keep them up on this roof for a little bit. I think they're trying to do. RNC are probably just making sure that they collect anything that's useful that's still left up there.
Right. Any rockets, any boom, anything left over, maybe some kills like you were saying, get themselves a few extra points for that PvP. But I mean, we've seen that before. That kills definitely do matter a lot. Not as much as TCs, but if you can get those few extra points, and honestly, it can make a difference sometimes. We've seen some really, really close finishes where it comes down to 1, 3, 5 points, where it's really, really close. Come down right to the end.
Double shooting floor going on over here.
Ooh.
Can't quite make this out. Oh, it's outsiders that we've got. They seem to have control of the shooting floor of Alt's base, and where... Oh, here's a member of Alt. A couple of them are out by the gatehouse. I hope that doesn't mean that they're already on their outside spawns, because that will not...
Yeah, that'd be
will
bad.
not help their defense.
It looks like Bot Marvin's base here going to be raided. They're going to lose one of those players. It is Daxos. So we talked about them a little bit earlier on in that attack phase, getting that attack helicopter, but this one it looks like they are looking to get inside. It looks like Mango is already in there, looking for that TC. They have some ladders in. They're blowing up some of that base. And we'll see if they can find it. It is another one of those bases that does have a lot of those doors we talked about. It's a door meta, seeing how many doors you can put in your base.
Door meta is underselling it a little bit, I think. So, got a couple of people asking in chat a few bits and pieces. One is how you can get involved along base invaders. So I've just stuck the Discord link in there for you. You get signed up on there. It gets announced every Wednesday. They let you know what the team size is. And then we're on every Sunday. There's an EU and an NA tournament. And
Yeah.
I am just bringing my video feedback here.
Yeah, and I believe it's free to enter, right?
Someone was asking. I'm sure there is an entrance fee, is there not? Correct.
I don't know, but I would also, I mean, we've talked about the advent calendar. You know, it's It's harder to explain, you know.
Yeah.
An advent calendar has a lot of doors, you know. It has, you kind of get something every day, you know. Has a lot of different doors, and that's kind of what they design it. So it's usually a circular base, a cylinder like, where the middle is kind of solid. Imagine it like stairs to go from the bottom of the base to the top of the base, and then all of the outside just has doors and doors and doors, and behind every one of them could be ETC.
Exactly. Yeah. You usually have at least a layer of honeycomb around
Yep.
significant amount of doorways, because part of the rules for base invaders is that your TC must be accessible by either a door or a window,
Mhm.
and it is a depressing experience trying to go through all those doors one by one, trying to figure out where that TC is. It's very effective, and that is why it gets employed by a number of the competitors here.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you don't know what an advent calendar is, obviously, if you've seen the show Deal or No Deal, it's kind of like that, where the $1 million is behind one of those cases, but you don't know which one it is. So you kind of has to guess and keep going through them until you kind of get to that $1 million, till you get to that TC and those 40 points for you on that leaderboard.
That's some nice rocking coming out here. That's Mario. Oh, Fred and Laggy have just dropped on him, though. That was 3 different people all at once.
Yeah,
Looks
shots.
like they're in a pretty good position to take this side of this drop over if they get in through this wall, through the outer wall rather, because it's a significant amount of damage that they're already in this side. There's
Mhm.
a whole lot of damage on 2 different sides of this base as well.
Yeah, they're gonna try and stick this res here, but the player's gonna come around the corner, and you're
Ooh,
not gonna get that off with Betalagi. There, they will take 2 down, and now they are inside the compound, so Rocket's already gonna go down. I mean, space has stood for a little bit, but the stone is, it's gonna take some damage here from those rockets.
very surprised this is still here. Whoever this is in this outside spot with these rockets here can probably just continue to do that. If they get the right side for the TC, they don't even need to move. It's Bedalagi having stolen that rocket. Oh,
Yeah,
now we
but
do have people inside.
be a couple teams, yeah. Yeah,
That was a nice shot.
it was clean. Nice angles,
Right.
too, from the top floor here.
Yeah, the advantage of having all these areas open before. They seem to be stuck in the shooting floor. One of them has just made it to the ground floor there. But the whole center of this is missing. Oh dear. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it seems like
Okay.
everything is missing out of it except a couple of doors. And then again, it's going to be one of those, you know, you gotta hope. And all the hoping hasn't worked yet for them. They're still trying to look for it. It doesn't look like it is in this main core yet. It just looks like this is going to be a traversal for them to go from the top to the bottom. Going to blow open some of these doors, try and get access to more of the base, and still haven't found it yet, even though this is stone.
It does just look like we've got. Wow, who else is out here? Right, well, Mario's managed to get his rockets back. He must be happy about that. He's continuing to pummel this same side here. And they're almost all the way through on this one side. I think. So we were just talking about this and how the purpose of the advent calendar thing is a good place for your TC. Generally means that it's on the outside. And it can result in sometimes your TC getting randomly rocketed. Because it's on the outside, that's your trade-off. Well, you can find
And
it. Kind of
it's
looks
kind
like
of
it
a
might not be
psychology
in the
thing.
advent calendar in there. I think there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of the outside missing.
Right. There's so much. Like, I mean, it's all stone. Like, they're just the core is metal, but all the outside is stone. They've just blown through it all, and I mean, it's kind of that psychology aspect too. You know, everyone runs, if everyone runs the advent calendar, and you put that on the outside. Is it if you put it on the inside and fortify the inside? Is that better for you, or if you know, you usually want to put it away from another team's base because usually that's where they're rocket from, or do you put it towards that team's base thinking they'll go around the other side? You know, it's all mind games.
Yeah, and the thing you have to think about as well is that a lot of these teams are multiple veterans. There's multiple winners. They've all done this lots and lots of times, and becomes increasingly obvious where the TC might be with these kinds of things. They still have not located it though, and this is impressive because there are still 3 different teams trying to raid this right now.
Yeah.
got
And he's
one
gonna
of
go on
them,
a kill
two
streak.
of them inside, and I think maybe one on either side as well.
Yeah. A lot of teams here. Also, Ryan, thank you for the sub in Twitch chat. We appreciate that. Supporting the stream.
Yep, it's really just giving yourself money there, but... Now,
yeah,
please go ahead.
sorry.
It's
A lot of these
okay.
teams, sorry, just start raiding from all sides. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's surprising this base is still here. It's
Yeah,
I don't know how.
They're trying to top down.
Okay.
There we go.
Makes sense.
We got a better angle on here. So we've got IainSolow pushing in from this angle. Santa got their rockets grubbed off them again by Baronina, who are now... Oh no, sorry. Is it Belshazzar? I'm pretty sure I saw Baronina here as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I was just waiting for it. I mean, it's always when Kaz jumps off of it that it, they finally find that TC. I was just waiting for him to jump off it and say, "Oh, they're eliminated," right when he switched.
Yep.
But didn't happen this time. Just, some raids happening all around, and this base looking like might be the next target.
Oh, so there is no one in this. This is Costco's base, who are currently behind the camera raiding something else. They're getting by Messi, who have got a really nice roof for doing just that. Go in space, maybe.
Yeah, just sending
no,
those
did that hit
rockets.
the very back? Okay, I take that back. I take that back.
Yeah, I mean, Costco. I mean, they're they're sending the payloads in. They wanna destroy that full roof, and in Costco, they're doing good for themselves right now. They have a decent bit of points, so for this team of Messi, it could be really good to take out one of your opponents on the leaderboard. And I mean, the base looks so easy, and no one is there right now, so they're just getting free shots in. Free reign on this base, and you have to think soon that once they destroy most of this roof that they can get their entrance in with nobody here.
If they can take most of this roof off, they might not even need to go anywhere, Lava. I am confused as to where Costco are, because they are literally... I'm not confused as to where they are. They're just up the hill off the side of this shot. What I'm confused about is why has no one come back? They're doing quite a lot of damage.
You know,
Like, it is mostly the shooting floor that they've taken off, but if there's anything, most of the storage is up there is gone. Look where Costco are. They can just look out a window and see that happening, surely.
maybe Costco got lost up in Costco is the real reason. You know, maybe that's why their name is called Costco, is because they spend all the time in Base Invaders in actual Costco and not actually in their own base.
So, I'm very confused.
Him too.
They're definitely in here, fighting with Daxo. Fisher and Builder are here. So... Whoa!
Wow.
Okay, well I can see why they didn't want to leave. They must have known that they were... Better get back or right now. Link's knocking on the door. I think he's about to just walk straight through this wall.
Yeah. I don't think he is just knocking. I think he is blowing open that door. He will break down that side, and they took down so much of that roof already. It's gonna be open for them to climb up. And like you were saying, Costco, they might not have wanted to leave because they were already so close to getting that TC, and it'll jump them up to the second place. But the second place means nothing if you cannot defend their base. And it looks like those two players will try and come back, but I mean, the damage is already done.
Yeah, Pusher's on the roof here. He's gonna catch Link. Oh, he's not gonna catch Link out. I can't believe he got away with that. Oh, Pusher blocked his turret. He stood in front of his turret there. I don't know if he can take damage from his own turret, but it stopped Link getting hit by it for sure.
Right.
Oh wow. Right. This is dangerous because the other two members are still on the roof rocketing from over there, and they can still cover.
Yeah.
And Link has just dropped like 8 C4 onto that, so that's gonna cascade.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good strategy for Messi. You know, take out the top, and is going to be eliminated there. One of the bases we were watching a little bit earlier. I mean, it was a stone base.
I've taken too long to do that. It was, and there was a lot of competition for that. I'm not really sure why. Link hasn't heard Roofer yet. I think he has now.
blowing it open. Like, they're unrelenting.
I'm so impressed how well he's managed to keep that position, like, because it's not even a
Right.
great spot to be in. You know what I mean? He's got the, they can just run right up to him and take a upward angle, but he's working it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's a very suspicious looking door. Other point that we should mention, especially for people who are new to Base Invaders, we mentioned this earlier on. The TC room has to be accessible by either a door or a window or something like that. Counts. The room that room leads to does not have to. So that can be enclosed within the honeycomb of the base, as long as the actual TC room. Here's Link finally removed by Pusher. He's gonna eat a rocket for his trouble.
Yeah, and it's like you mentioned, you know, you have to have that open window, open door, something to kind of give yourself access, and it technically doesn't have to have full access to it with one of those, like, the outside room, like you're saying, doesn't have to be, can be closed in. But we've seen teams before, you know, when you're trying to repair, you can repair these walls up. Sometimes teams, you know, they accidentally seal their TC up, and that's immediately takes you out if, you know, there is no access to your TC.
Tell you what they do have access to, the loot room.
Chest galore.
Right. Do we suspect, our cameraman suspects that the TC might be behind that Rustoria door, but I think that's a red herring, personally.
Maybe. Or maybe it's the psychology behind it. Again, they're reverse psychologying you to not blow up that door because you think it's behind that door, so you don't waste your rockets on it, you know?
It's too many levels for me, Lama. I'm too dumb for that. Yeah, that's I got bored listening to you explain it. I don't think I could. I don't think it would work for.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe, yeah. But we'll see if they can break open that door. If we'll put a wager on it, see if who is right, if it's behind that door or not behind that door. But some spiderweb doors being broken open so far from this team. Rockets coming through, just trying to find that TC. There are a lot of doors still here as they work their way around trying to blow them open.
There isn't a whole lot left to go. I'll try to blast out some of these corridors, I think, just so that they've got access across the bottom floor. It's probably not in there, like we say. It's probably in one of these lovely spiderweb doors. That's one of the better ones. I really feel the door game on Base Invaders is slipping, folks. Like,
door meta.
If you're gonna make me look at 900 doors, at least get a price skin for the doors. That's all I'm asking.
Yes. Right.
Now, the Rustoria ones do count as pretty, obviously.
Yes.
Just for legal reasons, I have to say that. But I do also agree. It's a very nice set. I got the garage door. I've already got all my skins. I don't know about everyone else that's in wouldn't get theirs.
Oh,
I got all my Rustoria ones ASAP. It's a nice collection.
the tree not the only thing to fall. We got 30 minutes already gone here in our raiding phase, so we've already had about an hour pass with that attack phase included, and they obviously had that grace phase to build up. But I mean, time is one of the biggest things that they have to deal with here. You know, once you run out of that time, you won't get any more of it. So we've already had 30 minutes expire, and you only get 2 more sets of 30 minutes to kind of raid, and these teams, you know, gotta start, you know, getting going if they aren't already in that top 10 on the leaderboard.
RNC are starting to pull away at the top here. Costco, to be honest with you, impressed that they didn't immediately get taken out while they were camping that TC. But it seems like it was the right play because they have gotten home. And they are defending, but they are getting pummeled from 2 sides here. Daxo are going to town. Underneath that shooting floor.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Messi did so much damage to that other side. I felt like they were going to push in and get a successful raid off, but it seems like Costco got back in time, and with getting that other TC, they really didn't pay any price other than now having 2 of the other top teams being outside their door and raiding them. So we'll see what they decide to do as trying to go get this res off here on the outside. They will get that player up. he slowly heals up, and some nice shots will be sent down onto this Nexo squad, who is kind of on the other side of Messi.
That was a good peek there on the Straussy, but they haven't done any damage here. I feel like that's what they're trying to push out to stop this raid on this side, but the problem is Messi are in the other side. But there's not a whole lot they can really do with this, to be honest with you. Like, it's 3v3, they don't have the numbers to be able to hold both these fights at the same time. All they can do is pick one, try and fight it, finish it so that they're on timer and they're not on spawns, and then head back for the other team. Unfortunately, I think they've picked the wrong one. They should be in here.
Yeah, Messi is already inside. They're going to start sending some of those rockets down, blowing open those doors to see if they can just maybe sneak out that TC. And it's like you're saying, with 3 people, you don't have a lot of people to kind of delegate your resources to. So you really have to focus on one of those teams, clear them out, and by that time, like we've seen, Messi is already down inside, and it's tough. That is what I love about Base Invaders. Is every week we have a different like size team pool, and it just adds another element to what goes into these teams' plans. You know, them maybe having to put resources in a different place or put members in a different place, having a different team size, and it is really interesting and really different every week.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about it as well, because it feels like you can't always employ strategies similarly from week to week as well, so it forces you to really change with the situation. They are concentrating quite heavily on this tower of doors that we've got here in this triangle segment. I mean, they keep hitting the soft side of the metal wall instead of the door, but that is clearly where they're concentrating. They aren't being particularly careful with their C4. As we've been watching this and conversation here, we have seen them blow through areas that they'd already blown through in a different direction.
Yeah.
Hope they have enough. Oh, was that intentional? Yeah, it looks like Builder was trying to steal some boom. Yeah, that was a good little thief. Well done. That's going to make it harder for them as well. Someone's just followed them down there. I didn't even see who that was. It's Straussy.
And I mean, they're just putting in so much work, blowing up everything. It seems like both these teams are inside now, but some 1v1s will be traded through, and that's honestly the good thing for them on the inside, is having 2 teams, competing for that inside space. Ooh, nice beams. I mean, gotta give it to them.
I think they are very close to TC here, because they are defending this real heavily on this column. It's got to be around here. There's not a lot of doors left in this segment. And I keep seeing Costco players pushing out from here, which means they maybe have a spawn right next to it.
Yeah.
Looking pretty suspicious.
It's not looking too good, and it's exactly like you're saying. I think those other teams know. I think they're seeing those spawns come through. I think they're seeing all these players kind of pour out from those positions, and it's rough for them right now as they're just trying to do everything they can to defend, but I mean, eventually they're going to run out of resources, they're going to run out of guns, and it seems like these teams are real close. This tower of doors, it's looking dangerous, it's looking suspicious for where this is. Not behind that one, but maybe I'm behind one of these others is the C4. going to try to come through, but one of the Daxo players will be downed and finished, so some okay defense coming through, but again, it's rough. It's rough for Costco as there's 2 teams raiding your base.
They are trying their hardest, but they are also, if you've noticed, that was a couple of times there that they're getting the rockets and the C4 off of them as soon as they kill them, which is going to make it harder for them to come back in. That combined with the fact that they were just throwing that C4 about willy-nilly. Now, where are we moving on to here? So we've got free TC here, pushing in once again on Ooga Booga. They've got a significant amount of this. Hold up again. This wasn't looking so healthy a little while ago.
It's repaired up. It's looking pretty good now, and see if they can hold off. Looks like they are getting some nice roof camping going. But I mean, we talked about free TC a little bit. Winning that EU, coming into NA here. Right now, sitting in 8th place, 97 points. Not doing too bad, but again, really anyone is still in it. RNC kind of holding that first place down by a TC or so lead. And I mean, we haven't seen that much of RNC recently, so it could be that they are, pushing for one of those other TCs.
This looks like another place that's not going to be long for this world, and another elevator shaft for people to fall down.
Yep.
I suspect. I think we might be right in the zone here for this TC.
Yeah.
And I think they might be. Oh, oh.
Scary.
Insane shotgun ammo right to the noggin.
Yeah.
Oh, was that? Oh, sorry, my astute cameraman just corrected me. That was expo ammo in a pipe, a water pipe shotgun. Insane isn't allowed in base Invaders. A commentator of my caliber should really know that, but here we are. Nonetheless.
Anyways, yeah, they like you said though, they are. I think they're in the area. They got to be close. There's only a few doors left it can be in, and it didn't seem like it was in any of those elevator shafts. But there's only a few doors left. There's only a couple other places it can be, and dead bodies just riddled all around this space.
I think. Oh dear. I think we're about to see Link get this here. Because most of this area is cleared out, but it is looking like a pretty likely spot. There's only a couple of doors. Has anyone noticed that one yet? Doesn't look like it's taken. Oh, it has. Taking damage. Oh, we got an armored door llama.
Ooh.
Suspicious. Better wait and see if any of these guys see it before we peek. I think he just blocked this rocket. Yeah, he did. Oh no. Was that a teammate? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Link's rocket got full on denied. You cannot do team damage in Base Invaders, folks, and also rocket damage to players is significantly reduced from default. So, not that Link will be happy about any of that information. Just really yelling at God.
Oh,
Okay, the TC. First one of the
suspicious door. Oh wow, they get it, and Costco will be eliminated. They put in a lot of work, but they will fall out at second place with just with over 52 minutes remaining. But really done from that team. I mean, armored door, very suspicious, like we were saying. They finally break through it and get it open.
Indeed. If you only have one armored door, do not put room. Giving the game away. What are Washed up to? They're in here with Puck once again. Feel like they have already paid a visit in here because I swear there was more holes in this the last time we saw it. Although saying that, still quite a few holes in it now.
Yeah, it's kind of like some cheese, you know, got some holes all throughout it, some Swiss cheese, tasty base.
I'm more of a good man, but you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No. It feels like are they just waiting for someone that they know is holding this other angle?
I
They
don't
seem
know.
very reluctant to go in, but they also don't seem to want to have a shot at another side.
Mhm.
So I feel like they're just being cautious. I
Yeah,
think
they might
Purpley
be
knows
cautious.
there's someone on an upper angle. It's wide, I think, is above them in the shooting floor.
3 players that won't go inside now. Oh, finally they're breaching the front door. See what they can do as we holding a little bit of this corner. Yeah, it does look like wow. Those upper angles are pretty nice. We'll be able to look down onto them, and good to be wary of it. Good to see it out. But they are inside now. We'll see if they can put down some rockets and maybe find themselves those 40 points. No chance. No chance to live. Oh man, this Puck team. I mean, although they let this team inside, they playing nice defense. But we got some roof raiders. We got some helicopter action coming in. Again, it's rough to raid from the roof. This is your one chance. Maybe you can get some beds down, something of the sort. And there will be now 2 teams inside, so it's going to be dangerous for the defending team to try and defend another. And they're coming in from 2 different places too. One of those teams is coming in from the bottom side. One of those teams is coming in from the top side. So it's going to be even harder. It's going to be even harder as time goes on. But talking about time again, it's a big factor. 50 minutes left. We are slowly running out of it, almost halfway through this raiding phase, and it just seems like RNC holding down that first place for now.
Does certainly look like it. I was going to say about this roof raid as well. This is much less of an issue. A lot of the space missing, so they can get back here from the outside if they do die. It was also perfectly timed, just as 2 members of Wash. Was it Washed? Just anyway, just as 2 members got taken out by the defending team, they landed on the roof at the exact same time, so that was pretty fortunate for them. RNC in Washed's base. Looks like they might have also taken a heli.
Yep.
I'm
Looking that way.
interested to see, but it looks like there's quite a lot of internal damage on that base as well.
Oh, Puck
Now
is
we
going to
just
be
left here.
eliminated there.
But that,
Well,
as we were saying, the roof raid
yeah.
did it. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of holes in the base. The TC is found. Might have been in one of those elevator shafts or something like that. But wow, I mean, very, very well done from that team. And Puck will be eliminated. They'll fall out at 7th place. 70 points for them. So not too bad. But honestly, the roof raid, the double angles, they really just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly for him. So, like I said, the previous team that was attacking got taken out this just as they landed on the roof and started C4ing. So, perfect opportunity for a top down, and a huge amount of the base was already destroyed as well. It probably made that a lot easier.
And with that, Imsolow is going to go into that first place position. So securing themselves that TC, securing themselves 40 points. They will now have a little bit of a healthy lead, but I mean, still anyone is in it. I mean, still about half of the time left here, and I mean, you're running out of bases to raid is the only thing. With 3-mans, I mean, there's a lot of bases at the start, and obviously now we've had a lot of those bases fall out. So as time goes on, there's going to be less and less bases, and those bases that are still in are going to be those more advanced teams. But anyone that really gets a couple, 1 or 2 TCs right now could jump themselves up in first.
Yeah, still looking easily achievable for most of the top 5. Once you get outside of that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, especially as those teams start becoming targets to the ones that are above them.
Yeah.
This, however, if I was Washed, I would be very concerned right now, because the moment RNC is outside your house and you can hear a lot of concentrated explosions in one place, it's not a good sign, because it means they probably know something. However, Shaza have decided that they're going to go in this other side here, which is even worse. I can also see Imsolow are just completing up the hill, and I feel like they might be coming here next.
That could be interesting, and I mean, we've talked about how before, like, it's kind of a 50-50 if you're rating it with somebody else, and if this other team does come through, I mean, it would be a competition between our top 2 teams, and if one of them got that TC, especially if it was Imsolow, I mean, that would be huge for them, knocking them up way ahead of RNC.
I feel like Belshazzar either suspect that the TC is on this side, or they don't RNC in. Because he could easily have pushed from one direction and not really done any scouting. But the amount of rockets that are going into this single place here kind of leads me to suspect that they might be playing a little gamble. This is what we were talking about here. And the problem with the Advent Calendar style of TC hiding, if you like, is that you can also just get a random rocket from nowhere.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can get that random rocket from nowhere, and it's especially rough if you're placed in one of these neighborhoods where there's 3-4 teams around you, where you could be raided by 3-4 sides. And I mean, one of those sides is gonna contain your TC. Like, it's gonna be inevitable for one of these teams to find it. And the more and more teams that just shoot rockets, it just makes it harder and harder to defend.
And for Wash, this is just getting even worse here, because Imsolow, as predicted, have just turned up on that other side. There's now 3 teams. Well, 2 teams on the outside taking their random pick at the wall, and RNC right in the core.
Right in the middle. They have laid claim to some territory inside of this house, and we'll see if they can find it. Again, this TC would be huge for them and really put themselves back up into that first place, which they would really, really like to have. But some of those Wash players are going to focus on taking out RNC first, it looks like. So trying to clear them out, trying to clear up that bottom floor, and regain some control of their own house that has 3 very unruly neighbors that do not like them.
This rocket barrage from outside is not the worst idea here, because they know that RNC's been on that other side for a little while, and they haven't found the TC yet, so they might be over here.
Yeah, possible. Definitely is. And the barrage is going to open up that core, blow a nice hole in it. I mean, this base it's in shambles.
Yeah,
this team is the mayors of Shambles Town right now. Nothing else to say other than that.
Actually, not a significant amount of space on that outside wall where the TC
Oh my
could
gosh.
be. Oh, jeez. Booga Booga just turned up as well.
This is rough. This is rough if you're watched. I mean,
Yeah, what happened? Did they say something before this started? Let me check general chat. See if they. Oh, this is literally just a race. This is just a race between these people.
yeah, it's a race to the finish. Who can get in there first? And there's teams that are shooting on the outside, maybe too slow, but they also, again, like you've mentioned, they could catch it with a random rocket, a random stray rocket, but more pushing onto the inside here. RNC still here, so RNC really putting down good work. Solo is also going to be inside here, putting down some shots, and it looks like Washed. I mean, they have no room to play. They tried to have the roof. They got roof rated. They tried to play the inside. Two teams are there. They tried to have walls. You can't have them because there's 4 teams shooting rockets. They just have nothing.
I think ImSolow might be on the money. This is looking. There's another door. Oh my god.
The door. Or meta.
Looks like they'll get in here though, and the room out here is blocked by this ladder as well.
One of those players in Wash is gonna get murdered there.
Oh my god. Okay. We do have another door for them to check after this though, so the search continues. Kind of expected it to be at the end of that end of that chain, not gonna lie. At least we'll get to pick here shortly.
Oh, another door. That's I never would have expected. Never. I mean,
who was that in the mini? Who else is here now? What?
I mean, there's nothing. It's like a beacon or something they put on their house. It's like raid us or something because everyone is here. 5 teams it seems like now. Seems like ImSolow and RNC may have the best shot at it, but I mean, it's a race. Whoever finds that TC, it doesn't matter how much time you put into this base, will get those 40 points.
Yogi and Park Blue descended upon that area that I had to clear out a ladder just to get in there to stop them. So I think we might be zoning in on the old TC on this side. But if it is in that spot, then there's a good chance. There's a good chance it's going to get rocketed by Belshazzar here. Just aim up a little bit. They don't know that, of course.
Right. Yeah, it would give them that boost. Some repairs will come through from Wash as they're trying to build back up, trying to play some defense here. And I mean, they're just doing what they can. I mean, props to them for sticking it out for this long at least, because I mean, imagine the points they'd get if they actually successfully defended this.
That is an excellent sign to see if you're Belshazzar that are out here. That was the most obvious panic repair of a wall right next to the TC room whenever I've seen it. And they're going to clear out that bottom one, but they really need to just hit both this bottom one here. It's got, I reckon it's got to be one of these two, right?
It's got to be close, yeah.
I feel like Kaz thinks it's in that one on the top. I think he might be right.
Awesome. This team just needs to put down some more rockets. And one of the players of ImSolow is going to go down on the bottom side here, but they're going to be in. They're going to be in. They're sending one of the players in and Wash. Oh, wow.
Where was it? It's in this spot right here. I think we were ending up towards the same place from 2 different locations. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh. Very well hidden. Oh,
Man.
nice done. Unfortunate though.
Yeah. All those teams, they're there to raid, they're there to play, and ImSolow, we talked about they were in the lead, and if they got this, it would jump them up. And now we take a look at the leaderboard, and they 226 points right now. A lot of points ahead of RNC. They really took a stand there and really pushed forward. RNC was there at one point, but it just seemed like ImSolow really did a better job of getting inside, you know, clearing out all of those doors and eventually finding that TC.
That was very good for ImSolow because that was, like you say, that wasn't just them getting it denied RNC that one as well. So that has really helped them. RNC now have to make a decision as to what they're gonna. They could really do with taking a TC elsewhere. Probably don't want to be too close to ImSolow when it happens, or else that might happen again.
Yeah. They don't want to get it stolen. That is for sure. And with, like you were saying, we're running out of teams. We're running out of places to raid. About 14, 15 teams left here. So, and the raids are going to get harder and harder because these teams are more experienced that have survived for longer. So, we'll see what they can do. But a hole blown in the side of this base here of the boat, it does look like, as they will try to get that res off. But one of the messy players, we just saw them raiding along with Solo, but they were not lucky enough to get it. But they will get some kills here, but will be traded in return.
Looks like that has gone quite well for the boat so far, because they are not aware, as we are, that GetRip and the rest of RNC is about to appear from the other side of the base. Doing exactly what we were just talking about there. They need to get in quick, grab that TC, and I think this is a good shout. If they can successfully pull off what's just happened to them, then that would be a pretty good turnaround, and it would get them very close in points time, Solo.
Be huge for them if they could just, get in there, get that base, kind of steal it away like you're saying. But I mean, it kind of seems like the boat is like focused on that other direction. And we'll have to see if RNC can kind of bounce back. Less than 45 minutes here on the rating phase. So, I mean, already half your time has expired. If you have not, I mean, if you're one of these teams in the bottom 5 right now, it is looking grim for you. Even if you're out of like the top 3 or 4 right now, it's looking pretty rough. So you really need to get it together, try and go raid some bases. And I mean, as time continues and continues, we're going to see teams get more desperate and more desperate. Now, the interesting thing that we have kind of talked about in the past on Base Invaders, that when you're in that #1 spot, you have a large target on your back. Where if one of those other teams takes you out, they might not have to get as many TCs, right? So if RNC, instead of getting 2 TCs, if they just go for Solo, they could jump themselves up and take that first place spot, and that can happen as teams get more and more desperate as time winds closer and closer to 0.
This is a lovely spot that Steak's got here. Doesn't work out for him, but he was being successfully covered by his teammates back at their own base there against Baraninha. I think they managed to take a second one on a wounded there as well. And I did see this helicopter flying in the background a moment ago. It's Santa. And oof. They are heli rocketing? They are heli rocketing. Okay. This is gonna go badly. But I want to be here to see it.
This is gonna go badly, but I
they've
want to
just
see it.
It was just a quick flyby rocket. They're off. They've decided to just die outside the boat's base instead. Oh, there we are. Right, okay. Ah. That was a different helicopter.
Yeah. Love some airship rocket rating. It's the best.
We've still got Messi here. It looks like they've been spread out a little bit more. I can see 2 of their members way out on. We've got Daxo, who have joined RNC, and I think we're about to see a similar thing happen to the boat space. Another helicopter has just gone overhead.
It's like an airport or something. Like, we bring in all the landings up into here.
This is Santa. You can see why I got those 2 helicopters used now, right? Must have got them in the same place.
Yeah.
RNC pummeling the right-hand side here at the base. Daxar are now having to deal with a crossfire off of Messi and from the roof of the boat. I think James is up there. And they've got a couple of people in the courtyard as well, ready for them to hit through this wall. I think because of the timing, this push that Daxar makes here might get just cut off immediately. And yeah, 2 of them are dead. So
yeah, they'll get murdered there on the outside. But some rockets will be flying in here from RNC, and talked about it. They're sitting in second place right now, 176 points at the moment, and they need to make a move. They need to do something, and this is what they're choosing to do. So 35 minutes do remain here on the clock, but they are going to break down some of those outside walls and trying to make a big hole and find that TC. But best aside, we are done with your funny business. We're going to push out, make some walls, and look for some fights, but the crossfire is going to be better from these other teams, taking down a couple of those players, but the bust is going to try and hop out again here.
that was Link that did that. I don't think they were aware there was someone on that flank. They just took all of them. Yeah. Just delivered RNC an easy kill on that last player as well. Nice little pop in and out from Straussy there, though. Oh, Jamesy's at the back. Oh, no, they downed each other. Oh, well, that was a bold play, and he did get one of the members out, but it didn't really cause any major damage. They still have their spawns.
Right.
And there's still 2 other teams over here as well.
So many
Strausy's
teams.
decided he's had enough of this, and is just gonna run the outside here, clearing these people out, I think.
Yeah. I've had enough. I'm gonna kill you now. Man killed in out in the open, no real cover to play with. He will be knocked but not finished, as one of those messy players is he's just holding the back line here. He is holding it down, getting some nice peeks, and we'll have that one wall to help him defend himself as he tries to heal up. You know, maybe try and hold this down, maybe remove one of the teams that is raiding. Because again, it just seems everybody's dogpiling. Oh, there we go.
Where even
Boat.
was that? On the outside somewhere, on the RNC side by the looks of it. It must have been in here somewhere. That would be a good indicator.
Yeah, but I mean, RNC, they are keeping themselves in the game. That was the big move. We were talking about they needed to make one. They needed to get back in it with Imsolow, really getting that TC and stealing that other TC from them. So with 30 minutes left, RNC, they make a move, and they are now within reaching distance of that first place position. They only need one more TC or some more PvP points to just catch themselves up here.
Outsiders and Alt are having a roof rocket fight, it looks like, because I don't see anyone outside of anyone else's compound. And Alt are on the rebuilds. I think this might have been going in the direction of Outsiders before we got here. So apparently, this was a flat roof on purpose.
Nice.
According to our esteemed camera person, which I question that that strategy, and it seems like they have also questioned it because they're now building a roof.
You know, it kind of seems like a couple of our teams are trying to be like that mad scientist experiment, but it's the mad scientist that their experiments never go right and like always blow up in their face or like make their beard super long or something like that. And no roof, it's an interesting choice, but obviously didn't work out for them.
Well, this build here, this portion of that build was clearly out of necessity.
Yeah.
You see, Imsolow making their way up to what looks like Brel Shaz's base next to launch. So I think we're about to see some heavy rockets coming in here.
Yep.
If they could just do me a favor and hit that bit that's facing the wrong way first. I would love that, thank you.
Yeah. They're putting some boom down. It's great. And I mean, they're not slowing down is one of the great things about this team. I feel like I mean, they have to push and kind of get through this open field, but it seems like they are just, you know, teams would maybe like to hold their lead, maybe play more defensive on 3-mans, but they're deciding they want to extend their lead. And I really like that they're playing this way. They're playing aggressive. They're playing to take down anybody's base they see. So they're really going to send these rockets down. And right now, they're the only team raiding the base.
Yeah, I agree. Like literally every time we outside someone else's pretty soon after, and as long as they can get back to their own quickly enough if they need to defend it, I think it's a solid strategy. I think that's the only thing that might bog them down if they get caught in a position where they can't get back to base quickly enough.
Yeah.
And someone does something like a classic RNC play with a bunch of C4 directed to a single part of the base, then as long as they're aware of that, probably going to maintain this lead here. It really just depends on RNC can catch up with them.
Yeah, it honestly depends on RNC. I don't think Outsiders or anyone. I mean, they're close, but they could catch them. But I feel like it's unlikely at this point. They'd have to get 3 TCs probably, or eliminate both of those top 2. teams to kind of jump themselves into that position. And they're not like doing bad. Like above 100 points is still insane for all these teams, like playing really well. But it just seems like Solo and RNC right now are taking the lead. They're taking advantage of all of their advantages. These veterans coming in and playing, but some
Oh
nice
my god, he
roof
knocked him out
shots.
of the heli there.
He falls from the sky.
Ate a rocket for his trouble. I don't know why they decided to rocket him. That wasn't. But certainly made them change their mind.
Yep.
Must have been aiming for that turret, I suppose. It did. It looked directed at the player, but the turret would definitely make more sense. Are they
Just
just
slowing down
trying to
that
get
push.
landing a little bit further away so they can sneak back here? Mario
Right.
has been spotted and denied. Mario
Dead.
on Mario violence. Yep.
Uh, Love that, but some neighbors looking like getting very anxious next to each other. And it is one of our top teams. It is Outsiders. It looks like who are sitting on top of this base, and they're putting some rockets down to try and get on inside.
Seems they've decided that they have had enough of the roof rocketing. They've gotten a little bit closer to the action. This is very interesting, this.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of doors on the inside, like on the inside honeycomb, behind the honeycomb layer. But I don't know if we're going to be seeing any of that, because with this roof going top down, I feel like they're probably going to try and get control of the shooting floor first and then work from there.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest, to try and take out all the advantages of the team inside and then, try and raid from there. But it looks like right now, just trying to make their way in from the top. And I mean, seems like that may be the right play. It seems like it looks like it's a little bit thicker if you were to raid from one of the sides or the bottom, but going to be a little bit open. They do have to be careful of this other team that is inside, that is trying to, get this successful defense off, get some points along with it. As switch on over to yet another dead body on the roof.
Yes, and I'm going to need a moment, sorry.
Good, but I mean, shots gonna come through, some trades there. They're running after each other and get some nice kills there. So it's gonna continue on this raid. It looks like just some dead bodies all around, some 1v1s being traded right now, and in time. We talked about it throughout this whole thing. Once you run out of it, there's no more. You won't get any more till next week. And 30 minutes has already gone and passed. So 26 minutes left, and look at that. The door's open. The TC is visible. And Bob will be eliminated by free TC, getting another free TC for themselves and jumping themselves up to 5th. 156 points, not bad at all. Still seems like they are a little bit out of reach of that first place position right now, but I mean, and time again, like I was just saying, 26 minutes. That's all they got left. A third of their rating time. It's all they have left, so they need to start hurrying up. Even though free TC did do really good on EU, looks like they may be a little bit slower here on the NA tournament.
Yeah, not going quite the same way for them, unfortunately. I mean, when we interviewed EA, said that they felt that they were on, but they're still came out on top of it. Maybe the luck's gotten worse. Sorry about that, by the way. I couldn't hear audio for some reason, but I'm back in it now.
Oh, good. Yeah, back. 25 minutes. Had a lot of time for these teams. I mean, raids usually, right? If you got to hurry up on your raids, you got to keep going. And right now, Solo. I mean, their lead has just grown. They have not stopped at all. Their PvP points keep on coming through. 260 for them. Almost holding a full TC lead right now on RNC.
That garage door that we saw just before we left there looks like it might be a likely culprit, but I think that was in core, so I don't know. Not so sure about that one. But Shaz's base here, which has been taken a beaten since we were away. ImSolow slowly making their way through. Now, this is looking like another set of these door corridors. And if it is, then I suspect they will probably follow it all the way to the end, because that's how they got their last TC. And it looks like
Behind the
that's
door.
exactly what it is.
Another door. Like always.
Well, sometimes it's a window.
That's true. You're right. I didn't think about that possibility. It could be a window.
A window? You don't know. Oh, no. They're about to go through this door here. Look at that one underneath. But this is exactly the problem we were describing. This is why Advent Calendar style is door after door after door after door.
Just doors after doors, you know. That's it. That's all it is.
Now, Baranina, 2 visitors here. I see Link causing havoc. He has been on a singular basis just like ruining people's day all over the map. Like, I don't know whether it has necessarily translated to as good a score for their team as they would like, but he's really been causing problems for people.
Yeah, like, did someone hurt him or something before this match? He has been aggressive on anything he sees. I mean, props to him. He's putting down really good work, and it's possible that I mean, Messi, they're sitting at 107 right now. It could be, I mean, we talked about getting desperate, you know, obviously down to these 23 minutes. It could be that they're sending solo players to 3 different bases, maybe to try and, you know, hop on to another person's raid, maybe try and just maybe see if they can sneak a couple TCs. But, I mean, like you said, he's just causing havoc as a solo right now.
Exactly. What is going on here? I feel like maybe they weren't aware that that was their teammate for a couple of seconds. This is, I assume, RNC's base. And this is probably a good place to be at this stage of the game. Especially for a team like Daxo, who were a lot higher up the table. Currently sitting in 6th on 153, but this will put them up a lot higher, actually into 2nd, because it's RNC that they're taking out. So that'll put them above outsiders if they can do it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Having one of those top 2, top 3 spots, it puts a massive target on your back, and RNC could be thinking the same thing. They're going to have to defend this push and try and do what they can, and that's just going to mean less time for them to get off one of these raids. So, Imsolow still holding down that first place position. The lead has grown even further for them. 42 points right now, holding it down. RNC may get some defense points if they defend successfully, but if RNC doesn't get a TC, they're going to be in trouble here.
I love this lovely palm tree feature. Is this Bedalagi? Bedalagi's base that we've got in the corner here. I like that they've kept the natural greenery of the area. That really shows. It might absorb a rocket too, you don't know. Oh my god, did that go through the window embrasure? They both went through the window embrasure.
Wow.
That, yeah, talk about threading the needle. Couldn't do that if he tried, and he definitely wasn't trying.
He definitely was trying now.
I'm not sure what happened to... Is that Gara? God knows what happened to him there. Now we're back here with Baron Nina, but I think we'll move on from there because that hasn't gone any further on than it was before.
Right.
Now... Booga Booga and free TC here. So we're doing this once again. This hasn't gone well so far. I feel like the red mist, the blinders have descended a little bit here, and free TC, they want this.
Yeah.
They want this space and they're not stopping. And I don't think it's the best strategy.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something, right? I mean, they're going to get shot a little bit, take a little bit of damage here on this top floor. And, I mean, 20 minutes left. It's do something now or you're going to run out of time. So I think this is an okay move for them to try and take somebody out. But, I mean, you're going to have to get 2 TCs in 20 minutes. That's the biggest issue right now. And, I mean, Ooga Booga, they've been defending good all day. So it's going to be a rough base to kind of get inside of. But, some shots will be traded.
Oh, that's such a shame. That was a great play from James. He shot the floor out. They placed their own floor in there because obviously you know, if you're not
Mhm.
familiar with Rust, you can place floors on other people's bases as long as it's the twig floor. James shot it out, still landed on the ground and killed him.
Yep.
That's
uh,
unfortunate. Couldn't have played that. That was exactly the thing to do. It just didn't
mhm.
work out.
And that not working out will mean some C4 is going to cascade all the way down through these floors here and open it up. Now,
Apart
some
from
kills
that
will be
one.
traded back and forth, but there you go. It's all blown open, and all of a sudden, a free TC has the entrance they need to get inside.
Yeah, it looks like that is mostly just bedrooms on that section.
Mm.
Still be a good idea for them to get in there and clear those out in response. They really want these people to be having to use their outside bags and beds as possible.
Mhm.
Defend. Take their time clearing out all these doors. But yeah, I don't think there's anything other than bed spawns in this central area, by the way.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems like it's just pretty much core, just kind of some respawn points, something of the sort. But these doors going to be on the outside again, and we'll see what they can do. You know, I think they have realized now that it's not in this core, so just trying to maybe clear a path for them, try and make sure none of those have anything in them. But Betalagi is here, it looks like, to try and sorry, not Betalagi, Ooga
That was
Booga
Booga
is here
Booga,
to
yeah. Yeah, I
trying to
think
defend.
clearing out that core area was more just about reducing their spawns. Makes it hard for
Hmm.
the TC is rarely in the core in these setups, and for good reason, because there's a lot of other places you can hide it.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of places, you know, you can hide it in a door, you can hide it in a window, you can hide it in another door.
Yeah,
Hide
you
it.
could hide it in a door behind a window.
Oh, didn't think about that. Oh,
Exactly. See,
possibilities.
now why are they soft sided? Oh, I see. Some more doors behind this bit.
Interesting.
Not that. There's not a lot of space on that side, though. Most of that's missing from the outside. Do they expect this to be in one of these two doors?
Maybe.
And
It could be huge if it was.
Axer is holding that angle as well.
Oh.
Don't know if that's just because they were forced into that position, but they do seem to be hanging around.
Oh
Bedalagi's
my
right out
gosh.
to RNC? What the? What?
I mean, you talked about their fast and aggressive raiding nature, and they get inside and they get it done. And
Took
you know what
that
that's
from
gonna do?
bullets by the looks of it.
I mean, look at the
Nice.
leaderboard.
That is 1 point in the lead now. These two are going for it.
Yeah.
They were still. How did they? Daxa are still outside their base still outside their base fighting them. How
You're madmen. That's
they just so one of them we suspect Get Rip must have gone and just done that solo, which is even more impressive. That is a hell of a play.
That's massive for them, and it's exactly like you're saying. They are now tied for Solo. I mean, this is so good for them if they can get a successful defense, maybe get some points off of that, and then maybe get one more TC. They could put themselves in a winning condition. And we talked about it. Points matter. Every single point matters, and I mean, RNC, they have shown all throughout the attack phase, all throughout the raiding phase, that they belong in one of those top positions. Question will be, can both of these two teams survive to the end, and who will make the play to make more defenses, get more PvP kills, and maybe take a TC?
I have to say, based on what's currently going on here, if Daxa keep this pressure up on RNC, then this is absolutely in ImSolow's favor because they are still mid-raid, if I remember correctly, which means the next TC they take is going to put them ahead. RNC have
Right.
no opportunity to get a reply TC because they are getting pushed in from Daxo. They will get some raid defense points, but that's
Right.
probably not going to be enough unless it's backed up by a significant amount of PvP points.
Yeah, they need to get some kills when this raid happens, and I mean, if they don't, they're in a rough scenario. I mean, they're one of those top two teams. They have the target in red, big red target on their back. I mean, Solo definitely has that target too, but I think Dexo is thinking that RNC might be maybe a little bit of an easier base to raid. I mean, it seems like both their bases are pretty strong, but they might just be closer or something of the sort. And if one of these teams gets taken out, I think that's the end. I think the other just wins pretty much because no other team is really close enough to contest it. But if they don't, it is going to come down to the wire. If one of these teams can get a successful raid, or if RNC is just stuck in their base the whole time, it's going to be rough.
We see free TC are on one side of Outsider's base here. It seems like we've gone back to the Roof Rocket and Adventure. These are coming over from alt space, which is not great for Outsiders. I don't think this push out to meet them is a good idea. I don't think either of these players have seen Nikita coming in behind them either. And as soon as he thoughts, he's going to ignore it and carry on running the other direction. Okay. Oh, now Eduardo is still on the roof and has managed to take down Celeste. And I also see, guess who it is on the outside here, Link, off for a little solo adventure, doing a little will jump.
This man is everywhere.
Swear to God. Must think Ganon's in one of these places.
Yeah, he's gonna put up some walls to try and defend himself, but I mean, time we talk about all day long. Once you run it out of that time, there's no more of it. It is gone, and you won't be getting any second chances until next week. And 15 minutes remain. Under 15 minutes. The time has dwindled, and if you are not in one of those top 3 positions right now, you're in trouble. I mean, you got to do something crazy to try and get yourself back up. But I think it's still going to come down to the wire. We still have 13 minutes, and RNC and Imsolow, that is enough time for a raid, and it does look like RNC did get that successful defense off, and with a couple of those PvP points, they're going to be 12 points ahead right now. So even though it is not as much as a TC like you're saying, it is still a little bit of a lead. They're holding it for right now.
And as we say that, Santa have just taken Baron Ninja as well. That'll move them quite high up. 4th place. Equal Daxao, who are still fighting with RNC, I think. Now, that RNC Daxao fight might have actually just ended just after we left there. It did kind of look like it because RNC took out one of their players from the front. GetrIp was actually way behind them on the flank, so looks like they've done that, successfully got the PvP points and received raid defense points for it too.
Yeah. Hold a little bit of a lead. 10 points. It's not a lot, but it is some sort of a lead. And I mean, Imsolow, they were mid-raid. You have to wonder, what they're up to, what they can do, because man, it is so tight. If either of these teams gets a TC, it's got to be over. Both of these teams right now, they're getting decent PvP points, and they're kind of sticking with each other. 9 points separating first place and second place. And I mean, the next jump is 90 points, 100 points. So I really think it is just going to be between these two teams.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's 11 minutes to go here. But Daxao are going to have to cancel their current raid on RNC because the side of their base has a big fucking hole in it. Excuse me. I think they're going to be in here pretty quick. Oh my god, they're going to be in here real quickly. They're blowing the outer wall now, and the...
Yep.
So I
Get rid of that gate.
Straussy has made it back, and I'm sure I saw another member who may have just died. But they need to get everyone back here.
Yeah. They need to hurry. I mean, they already have a big hole in the wall. They already have the gate broken in, and they are looking to move up. The ladders will be placed on the outside, try and get themselves up on in there. I mean, very well done so far. And they got beds to, keep on attacking this. Oh, free
TC are about to pop up this hill unless they get landed on by this helicopter right behind them. Oh wow. Talk about timing. I can't read the name on this. Who is this we've got coming in here? Oh, that's that's not a safe landing.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be painful, and some kills will be traded back and forth. But a lot of teams coming in from all different directions. The hill is going to be hotly contested here as this players does finally get killed. Those beds going to be utilized to try and respawn some players and some nice kills. A trade comes through now into just a 1v1. Ooga Booga looking for this here. He'll jump out and some nice kills there.
That went horribly for free TC. Like, that couldn't have gone worse. I don't understand how Ooga Booga managed to get back to their spawns and some additional guns. They ran straight through that fight between Daxo and Free TC, straight over to their spawns to get their weapons again. Ouch. Did not go their way at all.
Yeah. Some nice and easy kills for them. They very well played. They got some nice trades in, and there will be a player Free TC again
Yeah,
going to try
Gatefax
and fight.
sneaking back up there for the return grub, I think. Has this
Yeah.
fight gone anywhere? No. Who's
So.
Imsolow's next target here? Is this Belshazzar? Yep.
Yeah, it is. They already made a decent sized hole in, and I mean, talk about close. 5 points separating RNC and Imsolow. I mean, and Mango popping off with a 10-kill streak. We love to see that. Only 9 minutes left for these teams. The lead 4. It's so close between these teams, and it's really just going to come down to who can play more aggressive here in these final 9 minutes.
Well, Santa are continuing their helicopter ride of terror by flying past random people's houses and shooting rockets at them, which I really do enjoy as a tactic. That's good. We're going in for the top down now. Oof.
Yeah, and I mean, this they definitely know this team. They might know where that TC is, so the roof raid will commence. They're gonna blow some holes through it. Might have the same builder, so just gonna break on through this boat base. We'll see if it is stronger than the Titanic or if it will hit an iceberg and collapse here.
So I'm pretty sure that this Imsolow team is Gellin, Lich, and Tark. By the looks of it. Are they in Santa?
Oh man, the C4.
That is going straight through there. I love this base. This is so
Yeah.
silly. It works though. This center part here is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Not when you've got this much C4 though.
My God. Jeez. I have no words for how much C4 they've built up. Oh,
This is
man.
absolutely the way to deal with this base layout as well, because this is all doors. Like they've done like a advent calendar on the inside rather than the outer wall.
Yeah. The fights will be traded back and
C4
forth.
is just going straight through all of those rooms. They've cleared out a bunch of them.
Yeah. They'll be able to double res here, it looks like, but the last player will come through, and their raid will be stopped. It looks like the C4 is really nice. They blew a nice hole through it, but it was a top raid, and that might, I mean, a suspicious armored door. Sees it. They know it. They want it.
I think he is gonna get back up. But now that I've said that, he will of course fall to his death.
Right.
Nice AK skin though, I've got that.
Looks like Santa's already back in. They might know where it is. I mean, this armored door not suspicious at all, I'd say.
No.
Suspicious thing.
Well, we're not going to get to find out right now, it would seem. We're going to have to wait till they make their push back in again. And I'm a little bit confused at what we're looking at here. This is Santa being raided by Imsolow. Is this the other way around? I see. This is Imsolow's base. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, RNC, I mean, they're continuing up with their aggressive nature. They are continuing with their kills, and even though they are defending here, they are still holding down that first place position. 6 minutes is all that is left in this rating phase, and 5 points is all that is separates those top 2 teams. Outsiders has jumped up a little bit, but I still don't think it's possible for them to catch up.
Yeah, we've got a situation now where both of these top 2 teams are actually defending well.
Right.
It's going to come down entirely to PvP points and if the raid defense points kick in time.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be. I mean, they really don't have time to go out and raid anybody else where they have this giant target on their back. Everyone's like, well, if we get rid of them, maybe we could become the top team. And, I mean, that's what they're going to have to do. So 2 teams going to be raiding 2 of these top teams. And, I mean, Imsolow, I think they're they're the team that is at, like, the worst position right now because we saw that armored door. We saw some other things that, I mean, definitely could be close, and it is that boat base, and Santa, they know the builder, they know them, they possibly know where that TC is.
Getrip was making another attempt to get behind Daxo here to try and stop that raid from that side.
Right.
Well, I'm just thinking if there's an entirely unlikely situation. Daxo, if they get this TC take from the side that they are on RN and ImSolow are defeated, which is now looking less likely because it looks like they just got some extra PvP and raid defense points.
Alright.
But if this is to occur and both RNC and ImSolow go out, Daxo will actually win here because that'll put them above outsiders.
That would be crazy. I mean, if we had both of our top 2 teams dropped in this
Yeah, I
final
wanna see
4.5
it, but-
minutes, I want to see it. I want to see it, but
I feel it's much more likely that RNC will successfully defend this,
Right.
and also just going by points because we can't see the fight right now. I think that's probably going to be the way for ImSolow as well.
they have a pretty chunky base. Hard to get through a lot of those armored outside. It's gonna be hard, real hard to break through and kind of bust in. So we'll see if they can defend. I mean, they're 6 points behind right now, but obviously ImSolow did get those defense points and RNC have not yet. I mean, 4 minutes left. It's down to dire straits here. I mean, you're either raiding the top teams or you're one of the top teams that has to defend.
Yeah, the rest of the server seems to have turned up. Free TC
Yep.
are in there, and someone from Outsiders was also
Mhm.
being removed by Nikita and KFX. Gobas have made it through the wall on this side here, but Joker is
Oh.
right there
Oh.
and has
Yep.
got backup from Wivin on the roof, or that might have been Getrip on the roof. Yeah, it was. Wow.
Some really good teamwork from them. I mean, they're surviving somehow with just 3 minutes left. Only 6 points separating our first and second place teams right now. It's crazy. I mean, I really think all these teams just dogpiling on, trying to find the TC, just hoping that both these teams can fall out so Outsiders or Daxo can get those points to jump up ahead of them. But looks like they're defending okay right now.
Oh, what is this going on here? Is this ImSolow in on a raid?
Seems like it, yeah.
Because if they get this, this is the only way
Mhm.
that they can win, and I think they've reached this because RNC are going to get raid defense points right at the end of that fight if they don't lose their base, and that's going to push them above these guys in points.
Yeah, they don't want second. They want this first place. RNC have been defending for a while, and if those defense points do kick in, now the only other thing would be maybe ImSolow could raid RNC and keep up that like raid until the whole time expires, and then the defense points may not kick in. But the base is being blown up here, and I mean it'd be even more costly if ImSolow did fall out here. But there's nothing else they can do. They have to go honestly, and
Oh!
there we go. Oh my
Right,
gosh.
here we go. Here we go. RNC
Here we
are
go.
out. So Dax out. Right. So one half of this unlikely thing to have occurred just occurred. I don't know how they managed that. I don't know where it was either.
I have no
But
words.
this is
And
they're in third place now. So if ImSolow go out, and they are, I think ImSolow are currently raiding while being raided, if I am not mistaken. So
yes, ImSolow need to get back right now. Their base was being blown to smithereens. That boat base was taking a lot of damage, and a minute 20 is left, and Daxo suddenly has a chance, but it all rests on the fate of ImSolow. RNC, they had such a good day. They played so well, but they will be falling out. Only 1 minute left, though. ImSolow, they need to get back. They need to defend. That's all they need to do now, noticing that RNC is out. And Daxo is just hoping, or Outsiders is even hoping, that they can get something and that ImSolow will fall out. And ImSolow, their boat base had taken so much damage, and that's all it's going to come down to, if they can survive or not. Pushing through, though.
This is
313
very
points. A lot.
there's no one there anymore.
Oh.
There's no one
Oh,
in
wow.
their base anymore. Got
And
Mario
Santa
out
has a
there.
couple walls, but there's no one there.
So I think this is it. Yeah, I think this might be it because there's only 30 seconds left. No one's inside that base. I don't think anything can happen now.
That's a crazy ending, honestly. I think RNC played such a good day. They had such a good day of raids. They had so much points, but the target on their back, I think, was too massive. And all those teams coming to raid them instead of ImSolow, and mean, it ended up not going in their favor. We talked about if they did get a successful defense, it would have been nice, but it is not enough. It looks like Imsolow is going to stay alive. They are going to defend, and they are going to take that first place position, 326 points, 70 points above their next competition. I mean, wow, that's all I can say.
Wild. What a finish. That was very cool.
Mm,
I'm glad that we called that ahead of time with Daxel there because
yeah.
I didn't expect that to happen. RNC, people love to raid them though. Like if they're up that table, then someone's coming around their house. This stat breakdown here from IainLives though, look at this. 3 successful raids, 4 successful defense. It's a good kill death ratio as well. And the kills look but yeah, well, there's a clear hierarchy there, but it's still pretty evenly spread out between the 3 of them as well.
Yeah, it's just fantastically done. They played so well, and I think they were scared. I think at the end, I mean, we talked about it that they had to go on the offense, and I think they definitely were breathing a sigh of relief when they saw that RNC did get eliminated. But 4 successful raids, like you were saying, 3 defenses, they were good all around, and that KD is also really nice.
Yeah, that had to happen. The RNC getting put out there was what won them that.
Mm,
Because I'm fairly certain the amount of raid defense points RNC would have gotten off the back of that fight they were in if it wasn't successful, probably would have
mm,
pushed them to the top. But still, can't take away from their performance. They did great.
yeah. RNC did great. I mean, RNC and Solo both doing really good. RNC falling out at the end, but Daxo, I mean, they did great too. I mean, we can see it. They weren't as aggressive as some of those other teams. A really nice kill death, almost a 2.0 KD there, and I mean, 2 successful raid defenses, 1 raid completed. That's really nice. They played really well overall. Getting a decent about. I mean, they got that kill at the end that really gave it to Solo, so Solo can thank this Daxo team for it, but a really nice KT. That's the one thing I'd really like to highlight for them.
For sure, they made exactly the right play there. They probably realized the same thing that I did, and probably before I did, because they know what
Yeah.
they're doing. Which was that if they could take out RNC and were lucky enough that someone else took out I Am Solo, then they were just going to get handed. And it wasn't lucky enough for them to happen, but it got pretty close.
It got really close. Outsiders, I think, were also hoping that something was kind of gonna shake up and happen, but they were definitely a more defense oriented team. 4 successful defenses. They still get some of those points from that, but a 1 raid completed, a lot of kills. I think the most we've seen so far, 157. A little bit more deaths, but it seems like they were playing aggressive, getting some more PvP points. But in the end, they'll take 3rd place, so not bad. A bronze medal.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they had to spend a lot of time defending between them and Alt, who are right behind them in the table there. I think you wouldn't be surprised if the majority of those PvP kills were each other.
Yeah.
But it did get them a lot of defenses. As a result, though, meant that they had less opportunity to get out and get some TCs for themselves. So they were relying on, like you just mentioned, other people failing.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, they were relying. They were. I think they had a chance too. It could have been close if Solo was eliminated and Outsiders. I mean, they had some sort of chance, but it's still really good. They were kind of cut up though in that defense, kind of just holding down. Really, just had defending their own base rather than attacking.
So I think our winning team
Oh,
are ready for interview. So we're just going to pop down to say hello to them and have a little chat before we finish up. So I'm just going to head down there now, which I can't do. So it'll just take a moment or two longer.
Oh,
Friends.
Yo guys,
oh,
oh,
Whoa,
we are chilling here.
congratulations.
Thank you.
thank you.
It seemed an awful lot like Llama can correct me here, but it seemed an awful lot like you did not stop during that entire run. Every time you took a TC, you were already on your way to your new one. Is that pretty much how it worked out for you?
Yes.
Yeah, it was really hard, bro.
Yes,
Santa
yes.
guys just destroyed all the turrets on our roof, and they could just throw 4C4 downside, and then we got raided.
TC
but
was in 1v1.
TC
center.
in TC in the center, yeah.
He
For
forgot
real?
replace
They didn't
TC.
do this.
Oh,
He
because
forgot.
we
I
caught some
forgot,
of
yeah,
that.
I forgot to replace it.
Oh dear. And
Uh,
we didn't find it. Unbelievable. Yeah, we caught
Yeah.
some of them. We thought that was actually a pretty good tactic to deal with that shape of base, was just cascading it from the top. But I mean, if you don't put the TC in where it was meant to be, it's not going to work.
It is a Santa's boat, bro.
Yeah.
Santa type of the base. I just stolen their base after raiding them.
So it
Wow,
sounds like
yeah.
you're pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
Lama, what do you think?
That was huge. I just was gonna ask you guys. So you guys were obviously a little bit behind of RNC coming into the end there, and I think you guys kind of knew that they were gonna get some defense points if they got that successful defense off. How were you guys feeling? You know, when you saw their name pop up that they were eliminated.
We were, we were happy, bro. We just saw this and we are just chilling in this moment.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations again. That was a pretty successful run, I have to say. It looked like everything that was going to go your way did go your way,
Yeah. Or they, bro.
or at least not anyone else's way.
Were you scared Santa was gonna take your base there at the end, or were you guys solid in your defense?
They just destroyed all the ladder hatches leading to the roof. And I don't know how we killed them. They were not accurate, you know. They just were all blowing the sides of fakes and didn't see or didn't hear how we placed the ladders. This way we could defend.
Right.
But it was hard. I thought we are raided already.
Mhm.
I thought it is the end.
Well, like I said, once again, congratulations on the victory. Hopefully, we'll see you doing similar things again next week.
Maybe. Thank you.
And we will head back up here to finish off for the day.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
See you.
Ебаный хуесос-ножок. Я уже готов видеть, как ему зафидит тут. Уебище ебаный.
I mean, as we finish up with the leaderboard here, that was fantastic to interview them. I mean, it was good to hear from them. I mean, it was exactly everything. They were scared, and then like coming into those final 2 minutes, just having RNC be eliminated there, just a breath of fresh air, and just barely holding on, like you said, like they said, surviving with their base.
Yeah, that was something to see at the end there. It was, from what they were saying, it sounds like Santa got really close to eliminating them.
Mhm.
So that we were incredibly close to my outside prediction actually coming true, which was it was an outside prediction. It wasn't supposed to come true. So that's quite something. That look at this
Right.
defense number from Alt. It had 10
Jeez.
defenses.
These guys were nonstop. They had no chance to leave their base. They were
No.
being rated every single 10. That's probably the highest I've ever seen. 10
Yeah,
defenses.
yeah, on threes definitely. I don't think I've recalled seeing that. And obviously, as a result, 0 raids completed because they didn't
Right.
have time to do anything other than defend their own base and patch all the holes. Well played to make it to 3rd place with that many
Oh, yeah.
successful defenses, though.
That's crazy for them. I mean, they had outsiders on their backside. You know, they had a couple of their teams raiding them and just sticking it through. You know, it's exactly what you're saying. It's hard. It's hard to defend a couple raids, and mind you, 10. Like, who does that? And Alt does that apparently. But like you said,
That was
they had no
4th place,
time
I
really
think,
to leave their base. No time to go out and raid other people when their base was just being constantly bombarded, and still a decent amount of kills. And just again, really nice for them on that defense.
Yes, we hit the final member of the top 5, which we'll probably roll out here. We've got Free TC with 2 successful raids and only 1 defense here.
Yeah, they were hot early on. Like they had gotten some stuff early on. They had gotten some kills early on, but it seems like they kind of slowed down. You know, they got kind of caught up in kind of dogpiling on some of those other raids that they didn't they didn't get, that they got kind of stolen away from them from other people. So kind of slowed them down, kind of slowed their progress down, and Ultimately, they did okay, but they'll take that 5th place spot.
Yeah, luck wasn't quite with them the same way that it was in EU, but it's still a respectable showing nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Santa coming in 6th. I mean, finishing out our leaderboard. They get 177 again. Nothing to scoff at in points, but 2 raids completed, 1 raid defense, a decent bit of kills, a positive KD there with 72 kills. Not bad at all.
Absolutely. We've got Gobas here with 1 successful raid and 1 defense. Most of the numbers here not really changing between these teams.
I'd like to point out the kills from them though. I mean, a
That
really
is
nice
a
KD.
high number of kills. Yeah, 122. Getting their PvP points for sure.
Yeah, they're going pretty crazy, and I mean, coming in at 8th, Messi. I mean, Link. The main thing we gotta talk about. This man was. The team may have not scored as high, but I think this man earns MVP for being literally everywhere. We would go to a different base. He's like, oh, there's Link. He's running by. He's killing some more people. Oh, there's Link.
Yeah, it just seemed to be everywhere. Like I don't. I mean, the kill count it's higher than his teammates here, but it's not as high compared to some of the other people. But he just seemed to be everywhere, constantly being a pain in the arse. It was really quite impressive to see. You know, if you can't make yourself win, then you can make someone else lose.
That is true. It's a great point, and I mean they get that 8th place still, 120 points, not too bad. We'll see if they can come back. They're one of the teams that show up every week, and we'll see if they can continue to do that. One of our teams, 9th place, 108, 3 successful raid defenses. I think this again was the story of them, kind of more focused on raids, couldn't get out and get any attacks in.
Absolutely. Same situation with Ugabuga as well. Now,
Yep.
they were trying to get in about it quite a lot. Credit to them for that. But didn't result in any successful TCs. And they did also have to spend a significant amount of time defending their own base as well. So it's pretty low point scoring. I feel like they've eked it into the top 10 there as a result of us losing so many teams that were higher up. But
Right.
they definitely gave it a go.
Yeah, they were in there. I think it was again kind of the unlucky nature of it that they were there with a bunch of other teams that they were rocketing from the outside. They weren't necessarily inside. They didn't get there as quick enough. But I mean, ImSolow again, a great job from them. Really well done. They stick it out towards the end. A really good to interview them too. It was really good to hear from them. To to hear their painful experience in those final 2 minutes, just hoping,
Yeah.
praying that RNC did fall out. But they did so well all around. Every single part of their team was together. Their defense, their attack, their PvP. It just seemed to all be there.
Yeah, for sure. They seem very happy with the result as well, which we always like to see. And I think that might be us for this week, Lamo.
I guess that is it. I mean, it was a great week of Rustoria base invaders. I mean, we had EU and NA both 3-mans, but obviously action won't be over. We have action next week. Just come back this time. If you want to participate in these, obviously do !Discord in the Twitch chat. You can join up. These are awesome, fun. Bring your friends, have some fun, have a possibility to win some money. But it's been great. But sadly, it has to come to an end. Again, a huge congratulations to ImSolow for taking a huge big victory in this one. But for me and everybody else, I'd like to give a huge thanks to production, doing the camera work, giving the viewers the best possible thing, and obviously all the Twitch viewers supporting the stream, coming out today. And obviously again, a huge thanks to Ian casting alongside me.
Thank you, friend. We'll see you again soon, folks.
Yep, we will see you later.